All right, so it's March 3rd. We're going to go over some of the trades from today. Same as yesterday and same as Monday. Issues at the open, and I kind of put myself in a smaller hole than last 2 days, but I still made some major mistakes, and I want to go over those here in this video. So as you guys could see, this is the chart. And then on the left side, we have my Thinkorswim chart, which is actually what I go and what I use to kind of enter the trades, right? So this trade, this chart does not have any indicators besides the EMAs. It does not have any support lines. It doesn't have any trend lines that I draw. Everything that I do is on Thinkorswim. It's just my preference, and that's why I use it. But as you can see here, we're doing like a H pattern, right? So we have a little bit of an H pattern going. And I love these patterns, and I already took one trade here. There was a small loss, as you can see the arrows. So we're going to ignore that. But right now I get into a trade with one contract, and this was a mistake from a tight trail stop. So my stop was 10 points, which is typically what I use on the Nasdaq. It wasn't like a super easy trade. As you could see, I'm fast forwarding it, but every candle that's formed is 2 minutes. And you could see that it took some time to break down. But once it finally breaks down, I make a huge mistake. So first I moved the stop to break even, which was the right thing to do. I was already up around 200, right? Now I'm up 250. So I set the stop for a 5-point gain, which is $100. And unfortunately, I get tagged out. And then literally a minute later, it would have hit my target. So if I fast forward a little bit, right, a couple more minutes, and my target would have been filled. That's a $400-500 trade right there, and I sadly missed it. So right there, the day was kind of starting frustrating, but on the frustrating note, but gotta keep the head cool. It's still pre-market, still got a lot of time. The market is volatile, so there will be other opportunities. So it was still a profitable trade. So mistake was made, but the profit was still made, so we can't complain about that. So now we fast forward. So now the market will bounce a little bit. So I'm analyzing the market, doing all different things. And the market now will bounce a little bit, right? So we're going to bounce. Keep in mind that we do have this resistance here. So you can see this resistance line on the Thinkorswim chart. So that's what I'm looking for. And first I took a quick scalp. So I'll show you the scalp, how fast that is. So this scalp is based on just quick volatile move up. And I didn't like that. It went so much against me, a couple points against me. Like right there, I'm down like $60. I think it went like almost $90 right there. So it went down against me a little bit. So I moved this. Initially, the profit target was about $200, but I just took a $100 profit on that. So it was a quick $100 right there. But overall context was still, trying to get to that dashed line at 13,045, I guess, or 13,050. And as you will see, instead of getting in on the push, so I just fast forward too much. So I should be getting in on the push, but I get in on the pullback. And that little pullback is enough to stop me out because the Nasdaq is super volatile on days like this, right? So the market is open right now. So this Nasdaq is very volatile. And I was actually thinking about going long on it at the open, but I didn't. But here I get stopped out and you'll see what happens. As soon as I get stopped out, right at the resistance level. Let me fast forward a tiny bit. So my idea was perfect on this trade. I just used too much size and too tight of a stop. That's the lesson that I'm using from this. If I would have used micro contracts, it would have gave me more freedom to scale in and not have to be so tight on the stop. And as you can see, the market just plummets from there. And as you can see, I'm taking a screenshot just to save it and remember this pain. Because that is a huge move. I mean, that's 13,050 all the way to 12 on. So that's 120 points in just about 10 minutes. So that's a $2,500 trade on one contract there. So here I took a quick scalp. I didn't like it, so I just took it off with like a $50 profit. So right now I am down $95 on the day. So after all these trades, I am down 95, and I'm kind of bummed out because two perfect trades. So the one here and then one here, and they should have been a nice cushion for the opening. Few minutes of the market. Those should have been two winning trades. I could have probably been done for the day actually after those two trades. But then we're gonna another scalp here. So now I'm down 25. So sometimes I take these quick micro scalps because like this little thing looks like a break even, but it's actually a $50 gain. I think that was actually even more. I was 95, so that was a $70 gain, I think. All right, so this was the big mistake right there. So this was the worst trade, I think. Besides, I mean, this one was bad too, but this one was worse because I used the 20 SMA as um primary area to get in. So if we're downtrending on the pullbacks, I'll get in, and right there I get short, and my stop is pretty tight, and the stop is right where I should be getting in. So same thing as here, my stop is exactly where I should be getting in. And as you can see, I get stopped out. I even gave it more room on this stop. So now I'm down, I think like 350 or 380 on the day. I don't see the P&L right now. I took the P&L off, which I do all the time. I'll have it back on a little bit later. But yeah, so as you can see, I get stopped out there and look what happens, right? So right away, the market just turns. So I took a screenshot just to remember how bad my stops were. And I'm still watching the market. So yeah, I'm down 380. I see the P&L now. And I get back in. So now this is more of a risky trade, right? A little bit of a risky trade, more of a chase, kind of like a frustrating type of trade, but it's going to work out. And the overall picture and overall idea was right. So the only problem I had earlier was too much size. I almost forget to move my target here, which that would have sucked, which I've done before. Because when I put the order out, automatically I get a $200 profit and $200 stop bracket orders sent out to the market. So I almost forgot to move it. First, my target was at the lows. Then I moved it to the blue line that you see here is a gap fill from Sunday. So Sunday we gapped up in the market, and that is the gap fill target. And sadly, I took it off there because it was a gap fill. So I was expecting maybe a bounce. I didn't want to be too greedy on it. Now I moved the stop to break even here. Already up 300 on the trade, so didn't want to give all that back and go red on the trade, right? So at least already having a tough day. So if I nail a trade, I want it to be right away. And then I'm just trailing it. This is locking in around $200 right there. So it stops me out. At least I'll make 200, and I'll be down a little bit less on the day. But luckily, it goes right to my target, and even goes way lower than that. But I was happy with that, and I was up 190 on the day here. Okay. But that should have been the short from up here with target at the lows. So that should have been around $1,000 trade instead of I think like 600. So that's frustrating. And that was a $600 trade after losing like 350, right? So technically it kind of sucked. But you could see that it didn't ignore the gap fill and just dumped more, and then I just scalped a couple more times. Quick scalps. As you can see, these arrows, those are like microsecond trades. And I was up 375 on the day right here. So that was the last trade, and I was up 375 on the day, which you could see what I'm seeing is here. So I recorded that on the bottom just because I knew I was recording these trades. And that was it. So that was my day. And again, a lot of lessons from today, and hopefully we could learn from them. But I think using micro contracts might be a better idea to to kind of get into bigger size because, again, I'm getting stopped out way too often. I'm trying to do a thing where if I get in a trade, it works right away or I get out, right? And sometimes it actually hurts you because it's hard to be exactly so precise on the Nasdaq when it's moving so much. It's moving 27 points per 2-minute candle, so it's hard, but we'll see. Every day I've been green this week. I've been starting the days really red, but I've been coming back every time. So it's just something to work on, and hopefully we can improve as we go on. If you guys have any comments, leave them below. Make sure you hit the subscribe, hit that bell, and hit that like as well. Thank you guys so much. If you haven't joined our Discord, leave a message. I'll leave a link for the Discord as well. I don't want to spam it too much, but if you're interested in futures trading and kind of want to get into it, then you could join us. All right. Take care, guys. Have a good one.